Same.
Please tell me you don't actually nickname your penis the Zelda.
No, not my penis. He's the Link. He's the Link.
I'm a Zelda main, if you know what I mean.
The penis is
He's the Master Sword. Oh, that's way better. Oh, that's way better.
Welcome to episode 196 of the Emergent Gamer Podcast. Brought to you by the OG Podcast Network, ogpodcastnetwork.com, on Twitter at OG Podcasts. I'm Felix Hergood, and I'm here with
Trip Zero.
Trip Zero.
Neo Aoshi.
And Neo Aoshi.
What's up, guys?
What's
We're back
up,
on
homies?
Discord again.
Yeah, so we got a pretty good show tonight. We want to talk. There's a couple of really, it's kind of like a slow week. So there's like a couple of like small news points that Neo was able to concoct or pull out of somewhere. Specifically,
Shaking his head like no. He's like, don't blame this on me. It's not that bad. Like it definitely was a quieter week.
Very
in general.
much a slow week. I thought January was off to a fiery start with that with those like barrages of news items we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And
but there's
and now it's quiet.
Something going on with Machinima, or is it Machinima or McKinema or
Doesn't matter because they're dead. But
They're
we'll talk
dead.
about that.
They're deceased. We'll talk about that. But before we get into that, we just wanted to kind of touch base again with where we are gaming wise. Like, what are we playing? What are we doing? And I guess we can start with old Neo Aoshi over there.
Oh, hello.
Oh yeah, let's put it. Not to put you on the
Hello.
spot, sir.
Oh, you
but
did put me in the spot.
Definitely to put you on the spot. Let's put you on the
100%.
spot.
All right, so there are a few things I want to talk about, and the first one breaks my heart. And
oh no.
this past weekend, there was the Smash Brothers tournament
Smash Bros.
over at the Lunar Castaways Twitch. They were
Nice.
They were hosting it, and there was like there were prizes. Like the first place prize was the Smash Bros Pro controller for the Switch, and $75 gift certificate to the eShop. So like it was, and there was a second place and a third place prize. So it was pretty good. Now I thought I had a chance, man. I thought I was a contender in this thing. Okay.
The way you're talking about it is kind of giving us away.
I know it's
ending
the
to
whole
this
the whole
story.
thing. The whole thing. I'm telegraphing it real hard. Round one went really well. I like whipped out my Zelda, and she worked her magic. She worked her magic.
I call it that as well, my friend.
Whipping out the Zelda.
He was whipping out the Zelda.
Yeah, the Zelda. That's my main character. That's my character of choice. I've
Same.
Please tell me you don't actually nickname your penis the Zelda.
No, not my penis. He's the Link. He's the Link.
I'm a Zelda main, if you know what I mean.
The penis is
He's the Master Sword. Oh, that's way better. Oh, that's way better. I did it.
Yeah, depends on what kind of like situation you have done there as your Zelda item. Like some people might have like an ocarina, some people might have like a boomerang. Like who knows?
The boomerang.
You
Yeah.
know?
What's the Wind Waker wand? I don't know.
Deku stick.
Deku. Oh, that's better. That's better.
Yeah.
All right. So this
Some
tournament,
Deku nuts.
it was all fun. I thought I could make it to at least the top 3. Like I was like I can place in this easily. Like I played a lot of the people who we've
How
played
many
with.
people?
Oh man, I don't have the bracket up anymore. I closed that shit the moment I dropped the tournament. But
well, roughly.
here,
Was it like
I got us. Oh, he fucking removed.
20, 30, 40, 80?
No, it was like it was like
Felix says
12.
numbers that
No, it
do
was like
this.
16. It was like 16 people.
60.
Oh, that's not
16
bad.
people, yeah. So we went through this tournament, and in round one I cleaned house a little bit. I want to say it was no sweat, but then
So
this
you
one
started
guy
pretty well and just and we're like, I'm in this, dude. I got
this. And the next round, I fought a guy who played Bowser in the first round, and he had the move. He had the move that essentially cleaned up everyone up until first place. And he
Wow,
took,
really?
Yeah, he took the first place spot. He had the.
I didn't think big heavy players were the meta.
No, well, yeah. I mean, Ganondorf for me, it's like Ganondorf, King K. Rool. Those are like two like of the heavier characters. I generally have an easy time with them. They have some good workarounds, but this Bowser, man, he had two moves that he relied on very heavily. It was like the side jump, double feet kick. He did like a side kick, which was heavy damage, and then he did the grab, and then Bowser like does like a flip and a belly flop, and he'll jump up, slam you down. There goes like 25% damage, just like gone. Like and three or four of those is an instant KO. So meanwhile, I can dish out my damage, and I have enough. As Zelda, you have a lot of defensive moves that can keep players away from you. And no lie here, I spam my moves. I'm not afraid to say it.
Look,
no shame here.
I don't think anyone is above that here.
No, definitely not.
Spamming moves in a fighting game.
That's why I fucking hate the game.
Oh man, did you get it? Did you get it, Felix?
No,
okay.
I won't. Because I don't like all that. I don't.
Oh, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Sorry.
So I lost, but I was the only person to beat him one round. Everyone else lost twice, I believe.
Whoa, so he like just steamrolled the bracket, really.
Steamrolled it, yeah. So the rounds were best 2 out of 3, 2 stock, no items, no special moves, all on the same battlefield stage, which is a flat stage with the 3 platforms. So that's how every match was fought, and he fucking cleaned up house, man.
Was it somebody you knew from Emergent Gamer Discord?
No, it was hosted by Lunar Castaways over at their Discord.
So it was over on their Discord.
Yeah, and he's a guy. He was a guy. Spidey J was the winner. I guess I should say. He hangs out in the Kind of Funny Discord and on the Lunar Castaways. I've seen him around. But he's generally very quiet, and he came out of nowhere with Bowser, man. And no lie, there's one player who I was expecting to fight in the finals, and I practiced heavily against his character, so that felt real bad. Which was going to be a Link. Thing. Yeah, I prepped for Link.
Damn, dude.
But yeah,
well, I mean, you gave it your best. It sounds like
I did
as well as you could.
We're going to come back again strong because announcing now, Emergent Gamer is going to be the host of the Smash League.
We are.
Did you hear about that? Yeah. Hosted
I
by.
Heard it right now on our own.
Just
show.
now. Mm-hmm. This is live news, y'all. Live,
it's
real news.
It's been a day of live news. If you weren't in for the pre-show, we won't tell you. But like, be in for the pre-show. That's what happens.
Yes, we have to be in for the pre-show.
Well, I just want to let you guys know I don't have any opposition to it.
No, I think it's great. It's going to be hosted by our.
I'm glad to hear that because it's already
happening.
So we'd have to
look. Let me give a shout out to the mastermind.
Putting my foot down. Fuck.
So our friend Quail in the Discord, good friend of the show. It will be putting it together. He's the one doing all like the scheduling and the work and the stuff, and we're just going to host it. So you might actually just see it here on this Twitch and Mixer. So that's where you might be able to catch any of the league matches. So it won't be a straight tournament per se, but it'll be a bunch of just different matchups. Like I don't know, like how like UFC does it. Like this. Tonight is going to be these fights. Tonight will be these fights. And then it'll be like a season of different Smash encounters. And I don't know.
That's a really good idea. I'm excited for it. Even though like I'm really happy Quayle's doing it yet, but I mean I'll watch. I'll cheer on people.
Hell yeah.
I think what we should add to our information, like when we post our episodes, is information for our Discord, so the listeners out there, you guys that listen to us through iTunes and later on can join us.
We should say that link more often.
Like to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, saying it,
at least that.
Go to type in something when they hear it. I know I never would do that, but like, if you can just tap in and join it, you got a place to hang out.
Discord.theemergentgamer.com. Look, I said
with non-toxic gamers.
Non-toxic. Required.
At least I'd like to think so.
All right, so that was the first thing that happened. I pretty much shelved Red Dead so I could practice Smash Brothers. So pretty much all I was playing was Smash Brothers until today, which I think we're going to talk about soon. Both you and I, Trip, have played the Resident Evil 2 one-shot demo.
We have.
I just finished it moments ago, before this show started. And
should we rip some of that? Should we talk about it?
Yeah, let's do it, and then we'll talk about Felix. I want to gauge Felix's interest because I know you and Kevin Oates, Trip, are all about the Resident Evil games, and honestly, from everything I've seen and just played, it feels like I said this before, but the game feels like how I remember playing Resident Evil 2, all polygonal and all that back in the day. Like it's like,
Yeah, it elicits the same emotion and the same like fear.
and like I would walk into like a room and I go, I remember this room. There was a licker that you see run across the window here in the original game, and I remember like placements of things, and I don't know, just like door like layouts of the building. They've cool.
Definitely referenced some of those things. Like there are spots that do the same thing the original game does, and other times they just kind of like hint at it, and then they'll throw new surprises at you at the same time. Like in the library area, like there's an area of the second floor, like a weak spot in the floor where you will fall through to the first level.
Yeah, that
like,
happened.
That's still there.
That fucking got me.
Is there a plan to make Resident Evil 1 in this engine?
No, because they've already remade Resident Evil 1 twice.
But not in this engine.
Not in this engine. There is a Resident Evil 1 remaster already available. It's on the PlayStation Store and all the other appropriate stores. But yeah, was
that a GameCube first release?
Yeah, that was originally remastered on GameCube, and then they remastered that remaster of it. So it is.
That game was scary as shit, dude.
Yeah, man, they had the Crimson Heads in that one.
The Crimson Heads, man.
Yeah, I never finished it.
Which one?
The remake of one for like the GameCube, and then further on like PS3 and stuff.
No, I'm thinking about it now though.
So the thing about the original game is that it retains the old style tank controls and camera angles that are kind of dated at this point.
Yeah, maybe I'll just play 2.
Two takes that and goes, okay, no, you're a third person game now, and that is in the engine of Resident Evil 7. So it's like the same tech powering this new game too.
So is 2 a first person game?
2 is third person. Yeah,
it's gonna be
behind the shoulder. Yeah,
but like the menus work the same, the item systems work the same. All that shit is like the same template.
Yeah, they new in this game, and old from Resident Evil 7. They're adding the gunpowder mechanic again, so you can craft ammo, which I noticed. And they added a new mechanic in this, which is you can board up walls and stuff. You find like
you board up a wall?
I boarded up a wall, yeah. So like
I never did that in the demo. That's cool.
In the first treasure or in the first like rest zone where the chest is, there's outside are those boarded windows, and there's a zombie banging on the window in that room. And like you go to pick up the wood, and it says, "Oh, you should probably use this to, seal off to keep the baddies out," or it said something really silly. And then you just board up that wall, and then it's all protected.
Wow, that's cool, dude.
It also looks like it has some kind of equipment upgrade system. Not like guns. I didn't see any like gun upgrades or anything, but I saw like eventually at one point I found like a gun pouch, and that increased my inventory. So like it looks like it's going to be more expansive that way from the original game, which didn't really do that. Yeah, I didn't like Leon or Claire have like one of them had like more inventory, right? And then the other one had like better health. Health management.
Like
yeah, I think that's.
Oh yeah, like right off the bat. I don't know that for sure.
Chris and Jill did in the first game. They had she was like the lock picker, and had more storage. But Chris was more tough. He could take more of a beating than Jill could. So that was like the whole difference between the characters. But this one, dude, it's looking fantastic. It looks beautiful. Shadows are gorgeous. Leon's new look, like he looks different from his previous games, but honestly, cool. It's like
he looks. I mean, he looks like definitely like more fleshed out. Obviously, more of a realistic kind of person, but he still has like the vibes that Leon had. He's got like the hairstyle. He's got like the voice, kind of like it's a younger version, but it still has like some of that. I don't know. Leon's always had a very distinctive voice.
It definitely feels like
kind of
they just like recasted Leon and were like, here, play Leon in this movie, and then like it's just another actor playing Leon. And I'm like, cool, like a James Bond type thing.
Did you ever see that like direct to like download, direct to DVD Resident Evil movie about like an outbreak at an airport? Like it starred Leon.
There's like 5 or 6 of those.
Oh my god!
But yes, I have seen the airport one. I loved those ones, man. But there were there's definitely like 5 or 6 of them, and it's all like Leon and Claire stuff, and I think Ada Wong's in there sometimes, and
Ada's always there fucking around doing something.
Yeah, she's always like the sneaky character who comes in between the games,
Very sneaky.
So what are your impressions, man?
Well, I mean, when I played it first, this demo, I played it over at Kevin Oates' house. Kevin Oates was very excited to have me try this,
Very cool.
Went through, beat the demo, did it in 25. You did it faster, didn't you? You said
Yeah,
you
I
beat
did it in 23 minutes 52 seconds.
Fucking AGDQ over here, dude.
Yeah, I didn't read anything. I was just like, all right, solve the things. Gotta
Yeah,
push through the
like,
thing. Yeah. I'm gonna slow it down in the main game though. I'm gonna play it very chill.
Yeah, for sure.
As much as possible.
I've had a slow but exciting like story and adventure with Resident Evil. I didn't play them when I was a kid because I was like always so scared of these games. Like I didn't want to like get just fucking frightened, dude. And this shit was like scary as fuck.
It was terrifying.
So Kevin and another one of our really good friends, the two of them know these games like the back of their hand. They could actually speed run these games. They know how to run past the zombies in the exact moment. They know where the items are. And with the old games, you can absolutely do that because everything is almost on a predetermined learnable path. You know, like, oh, if I spawn here, I'll hug the wall and like take a left once I pass like the sign and I won't get touched by anything and I can save all my ammo. Like they can play the game at that level. So my first introduction was really watching that happen. I was just like, holy shit, dude, I was blown away. So then I bought Resident Evil 4 for the Wii back in the day, and that game was so much fucking fun with the actual shooting mechanics with the Wii.
Did it come out on Wii first?
No, it came out on PS3 first, I believe. Maybe. Well,
no. Resident Evil 4?
4, yeah.
That wouldn't be PS3.
I thought I played it on.
Then it was GameCube, and then it got re-released on 3. It was definitely a GameCube release.
Gotcha. Because I remember playing it on PS2. It was definitely on PS2 at one point.
Was it on 2?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it was 2.
I'll look it up.
Well, anyway.
Actually, I don't know if I played it on the GameCube. I can't remember what I played it on.
But that was a fun one, man. That like really opened up my eyes to Resident Evil. And then I've gone through 5 with Kevin because you could do the whole game co-op, and that was really fun, even though it was a very different kind of style. We tried to go through 6. 6 was garbage. He's trying to finish that with another friend, and I'm like, dude, don't do it.
Does it matter what console I buy Resident Evil 2 Remake on?
No.
Felix,
right now,
there's no like multiplayer. There's just however you want to experience it.
I'm currently in a state of deciding whether I get it on console or get it on computer. PC. Because I would love to recreate my childhood feeling of sitting in my like living room, playing it on the TV. I got this new TV now, so I want to enjoy it. But higher resolution computer, I don't know. Sit in my dark room, I guess. No, I think I'm leaning towards console for this one. It's like really weird for me to choose this, but it's very specific to this game.
I'm thinking of that vibe too.
When Resident Evil originally released, did that release? I've been talking about the first game. Did that release as an exclusive to the Sony PlayStation?
It came out on the PlayStation where it did thrive, but I believe it was also on Saturn at the time.
Weird.
Yeah, so because I remember seeing a Saturn cover.
It was on the 64.
That was later. Yeah, that was definitely later. It saw many re-releases, but I think launch it was like Saturn and PlayStation 1.
I had it on Sony PlayStation.
Oh yeah, me too. And then I eventually got the director. Like I used to have the old cardboard big box of it. Do you remember that first like edition of it? And then the director's cut had the jewel case. Resident Evil 4 looks like, I looked it up here, GameCube first. It was ported in 2005 to PlayStation 2, so it did end up there.
Oh, shit, wow.
And I believe that is where I played it.
That game to me looked too good for play. Oh, I guess not.
It was around the same era.
I think my old roommates had a GameCube in the house, and it was put in the living room at one point on the main TV, and I think that's where I played Resident Evil 4. I'm pretty sure that's where I played.
Dude, Resident Evil 4 was a game-changing game. It changed the way like everyone looked at third-person like action design. It's crazy.
The first time I think that's the first time I played a game that had third-person over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Because I was like weirded out by it. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it took its tank controls and then was like, no, we're gonna switch it a little bit so you can be behind the camera or be behind the back. And it changed everything. It was
a wild experience having that be my first one.
Because that then led to games like Gears and
other things. All other third person action games. Yeah, like it just you can see like Arkham, they all like go back to like they all look at Resident Evil 4's like for early design and pull from that. But yeah, I'm very excited for this new game, man. It's
I mean, going through 7 and then going through this demo, like there's a lot of similar feels, and I appreciate that because it's easy to get into. It'll be probably less shocking, scary than 7 was, because 7 was like leaning very heavily on the PT vibe. You remember
Yeah, I do.
the Silent Hills playable trailer, and like just that whole there's like shock value, and of course it's first person, so the shit gets right in your face. So I think to some people that might be less scary being in third person, but the game is going to be hard and challenging and stressful and definitely scary. Like there were moments in the demo that like had you cornered, that had you like grabbed and fighting zombies, and you definitely passed. There was a liquor section to try out. Like
there was
man,
and I think it's
fucking
going to balance really
yikes.
well the moments that it's like quiet and suspenseful, like those moments between the intense like fighting for your life moments that will also like ramp up like the amount of like stress and fear that you'll have, I guess, playing it. It's giving me a lot of like Dead Space vibes and like the atmosphere and just the way like it all controls and how it's going to use atmosphere to like fuck with you. And like I
Dead
hope
Space is another
so.
series that I avoided, but I watched my brother play a little
dude
bit.
it is so god Dead
dude
Space.
I'm a huge bitch, man. 100%.
Dead Space is so good, dude.
So it comes out next week.
Friday. Comes out this Friday as of the recording. We're recording on the Monday of this week. So
all right, well
5 days.
I have it.
Oh, he's done it. It's happened.
I just bought it on the PlayStation.
You're ready, buddy.
Like live right now. You
He's
just
right on the air. He's ready for it.
Yeah, I'll go. I don't know. It comes out Friday, right? Why did it say available in 3 days then? 3 days from now.
Midnight of the Thursday night.
Yeah.
Midnight of Thursday.
I guess. Who knows?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Well, anyway, that's
also.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, also on Friday we're getting Kingdom Hearts 3 finally.
Are you playing that?
Not off the bat.
Okay.
No. If I finished the other ones before it came out, I would dive in. But at this point, I'm going to do Resident Evil, and then at some point in my life, when I do catch up and have time, I'll dive into it.
I would love to hear someone. I would love to have someone on the show who has played it and would just tell us, or at least tell me about what it's like to be waiting this long and playing this game.
I mean, I feel like we can feel like what that's like with Final Fantasy 15.
That's okay. So I wasn't gonna say anything because like I'm really happy that the Kingdom Hearts people are getting their Kingdom Hearts game, but I'm like, okay, this is kind of having the same. It's giving me the same vibes that 15 gave out in its long development cycle. And recently, it came to my attention like a week or two ago that I gave Final Fantasy 15 a lot of shit. For a long time, I was like, "Oh, they fucking had 10 years to do this, and they didn't. They didn't even finish the story." Oh my god! But new information has come to light, and I don't have the page up anymore because I read through it a while ago. But it was essentially detailing how Square Enix handled its studios that were developing the game, and it came down to, I'm gonna say pretty much, the Final Fantasy 15 team stopped developing 15 multiple times throughout the from the announcement to release, and they did it
absolutely.
I think once to help Final Fantasy 14 relaunch and remake that whole game, which I didn't know that team was even involved, and I thought it was just Yoshida and his squad doing their work on that. But and then apparently another team stopped and helped. I think one of the Final Fantasy 13 teams, because they made 3 of those games within the time this was announced. So anyway. The point is I gave them a lot of hell. I apologize, and I feel really bad.
Well, you're allowed to feel that you didn't think you got the game you were waiting for, or that it really took that long. I mean, people being bounced around and helping other projects is one thing, but you still have to make a game that is good and is cohesive at the end of the day. So like, they don't get a full pass in my book, and I was fully in like the love camp. Like, I would throw out my like criticisms kind of, but I loved that game.
I mean, it had a lot of good in it. That's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't deny the fact that I didn't finish it. And what's the reason for that? It didn't hold me for some reason. And like,
I did.
Looking back on it,
I finished it.
Did you push through?
I finished that game.
The last thing I did was like the first live event they did. What was that, like the Chocobo Festival or something? Because I was in that city.
Oh yeah.
I was in, Water City.
Then they had they had an Assassin's Creed crossover at one point, which was like
I didn't.
Crazy.
I was not even. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking reinstall this game.
Yeah.
Well,
and then I had the problem where I dive in. I don't know where I was.
What's up?
I experienced the Assassin's Creed crossover event, but from the perspective of Assassin's Creed.
What a weird mashup of.
Yeah, I was able to get the sword and a shield in Origins.
Oh wow.
Final Fantasy 15.
Egyptian assassins and then boy band fantasy friends.
The way that it played out in Origins is like a comet came in and like hit this like, you know, a pyramid or whatever.
Sure.
And then you went down and you had to solve like a quick puzzle. It was like this like sunlight puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And then it unlocked this door and you went in and then you walked into a portal and you physically like I don't know if I was in a place I think I walked through a portal and then I was in a place in Final Fantasy 15, but I wouldn't recognize that because I'm
right.
not,
but maybe somebody would, right?
Yeah, I never played the game.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Yeah.
I got the sword and the shield and I left, went back through the portal, and boom, I played with it. It was great.
That's
and
insane.
then they also took the camel model, and then they made it. There was a camel you could get. It was just a skin for the camel. They made it look like a chocobo.
Nice.
Oh, I remember that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
The
cool.
chocobo armor. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna wait on Kingdom Hearts. I had a lot of fond memories playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really, really fucking liked it, and I did everything you possibly could in an era before trophies and before like streaming and before like a reason to do all this stuff. I just like was compelled to beat all the bosses in the Coliseum, even Sephiroth, like do all the end game shit. Like I just was hooked by this game. This weird mashup of my favorite series at the time, which was Final Fantasy, and like a property as huge and expansive as Disney, and I was just like, "What the fuck is
what
this?
is happening?"
Yeah.
Weirdest crossover.
I loved it, man. It was so like looking back, it's so wacky. It didn't even make sense. Even back then, I didn't know what the story was. I was trying to follow it, but like no one really knows. You know,
And anyone who says they do is lying.
It's like Metal Gear Solid in terms of like how convoluted it gets.
Oh my god, it does get convoluted, but I love every second of its wackiness.
I didn't say I didn't love Kingdom Hearts, but it's that vibe where it just like this crazy epic Japanese storytelling. It's almost like their soap operas where shit just everything has to be like 20 pages long in complexity, and then someone's distant relative returns from war and
would you guys
I'm trying to make a scenario. I'm not going to come anywhere close to the complexity that actually exists in these stories.
Where in your ranking of like companies that produce content do you put Square Enix? Are they your favorite, or are they?
I mean, I don't mean.
If you asked me in like 1999, like I would have like kissed the ground they walked on, but they haven't done it as much for me personally lately.
I don't have like company loyalty like that.
Yeah, I don't feel that way anymore.
I don't give a shit who makes the game as long as it's a good game. Like I know like there are companies that have a really high standard and that I respect, but I don't.
If anything,
I don't have like a preference or a rank.
Yeah, if anything, I would attribute to any like fanboyism to the creators themselves, like your Cory Barlogs and your Kojimas, and just the faces of the people who have the vision and execute it.
At this point. Yeah.
And a lot of these creators are now like really like front facing. They're doing interviews, like who makes these games. The people who make these games now. So it's a lot easier for me to go, okay, I like that person's work. I like you, Neil Druckmann. I can't wait to see the next thing you do. Like it's like those. It's like those people.
Person, Felix?
Do you now?
I picked him. I picked him specifically for you. Yeah.
Okay.
But hey,
one day Neil Druckmann is going to become. Become a fan. He's not going to be a fan. He'll listen to this podcast somehow, and then discover this thread.
Like, why does
we've
Felix
been talking
hate me
about
so much
for years?
Thread of like antagonism for years, and he's going to hit you with like a cease and desist or some shit. It's going to be really fun.
I don't want to be anywhere near that fuck.
He's going to make you a character in like his next Uncharted, like a secret Uncharted game.
Yeah, it's like a Felix NPC soldier or whatever.
Yeah, you're like a maybe
Nate
like
Drake
2/3 of the way through the game, you're like a boss, big bearded, like mean motherfucker, and you're like gotta take you down.
The only way to fight him is to beat him in the face over and over again.
Oh my god!
Punching Felix out.
One day, dude, it's gonna happen.
Dude, then I'll know I made it. I mean, then I'll know.
Then you'll know, man.
Well then. What
But
else?
yeah,
What
that
else you
was
guys
that
got?
was kind of the week. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of if I did
Well,
anything
we were still on
special
Neo.
or different.
Oh, I pushed it into Trip's
Yeah,
court.
we did like a transition. Like
Yeah.
we both did Resident Evil. He was, we were overlapping at that
Come
point.
on, keep up, Felix. We're on fire.
Yeah, dude,
We're on fire.
we're live rolling, dude, live
Yeah.
flowing.
So what's
Yeah,
up? What do you got going on, Felix?
Well, I mean, I discussed it a little bit in the pre-show because I was literally playing it in the pre-show.
Dude, you're obsessed.
I got really hardcore. I think maybe it was 20 or 30 bucks. I think it was 20 bucks. I got Civilization 6 on the Switch. I also got City Skylines as well on the Switch.
Very nice.
I think City Skylines with 30 and Civilization.
I have that as well. It's actually really, really fun.
I didn't play it yet because I just don't want to bog myself down with two like real-time strategy type games at once, turn-based real-time strategy games at once, because that's just fucking shit. Is like it's like putting crack in my vein. Like it's I am that addicted.
Well, technically, City Skylines wouldn't be an RTS,
It's like a
but I know what you're
simulator.
saying.
No.
Yeah.
Like
I follow.
imagine. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Felix.
I meant turn-based strategy. That's
Yeah,
all.
just micromanaging tiny little
It's not
worlds.
Right.
is the
well.
genre.
You wouldn't say that Civilization is an RTS though.
I would.
Yeah,
I mean, not a full-on. It's like
it's
a
not
it's a
StarCraft,
combination one. Yeah.
It's like
You're not
it's like a board game. It's like a tabletop strategy.
Yeah.
Strategy.
But
strategy.
you are managing units.
Yeah.
There's unit management, yeah, but there's more to it than like a
It's more,
StarCraft.
it is more like
or a Warcraft.
it's more like Axis and Allies than anything. I wish there was a fucking Axis and Allies video game. Oh, I would play the fuck out of that shit. But this is good. But I've got into that and I'm trying to win. I've been playing the same game for
since you bought it last
like
week.
a week and a half.
How much have you been playing it? Because I know the Civ hype is real for a lot of people.
I've had numerous nights where I kept saying one more turn until 5:30 in the morning.
Yep. All right. I was just checking if you've had that.
That is the experience, man.
That is real
the experience with Civilization.
It's literally the only reason why I haven't gotten 6 yet. I still have 5, but
some
I
of
know.
the things that they've added now. You need to help me out, Neo, because you played 5 recently. So they have
no, not recently. No, it's been a while since I played 5.
But you played it, right?
Yeah.
So they have a thing called districts that I've never experienced before. Is that in 5?
That
5 was the first one with districts.
It was in like one of the expansions. I want to say it was like Brave New World or something, right?
Probably. So districts, this game is all in on districts. So there's lots of different types of districts. And what I didn't understand in this first playthrough that I'm doing until much, much later was that each time you upgrade a district, like add a district, like if I add the neighborhood district, then there are subcategories to the district to upgrade. And I didn't realize that. And I left many of my cities just not upgrading the district further, right? And that's problematic if you realize that when you're in the 20th century in terms of the timeline of the game, because you had like what they add.
Dude, it never makes sense though, because go on.
Those games add production speed. I don't know what I just said. Those districts, some of them add production speed. They add culture growth. They add money growth, like the one that's like a marketplace type.
If you stay ahead of the game and properly upgrade your shit, you could be ahead of the curve in a big way if you want to specialize depending on what you're building.
But I didn't realize this in this playthrough that I'm in right now until like super late.
No, dude, I think you have to play like 2 or 3 Civ games before you even really understand like how to fully even like be successful in any kind of way. And then it's like, I don't know, 10 in, you're like, oh my god, they are fucking districts. Like everyone has that experience, Felix. It's the same boat. You're like, I can be really good at this, but I haven't touched this at all ever.
The game doesn't really have a term limit. It's 500 turns. I said term limit, I meant turn. It doesn't have a turn limit. It's like 500 turns, but the game doesn't actually.
That's like the end of the game, and whoever is like the leader in terms of like general points wins. Well, can keep playing, right?
Here's the thing that I thought but that win actually happened for one of the other civilizations at around turn 300. One of the civilizations,
they got a specific other kind of objective.
They ended up advancing their civilization and winning in like some other category other than domination. It was like some other category. It was like cultural win or financial win. I'm not
Yeah,
really
you
sure.
you could have
What?
a religious victory, a cultural victory. You could have a science victory. I always try and go for the science one because I'm me. That's where you send a rocket ship to Alpha Centauri, I think.
I think you can do like. Do
Um,
you say religious victories too?
There's
Yeah.
a
You can do that.
religious victory. The religion thing I don't even understand. Like
Yeah, that's all about converting cities and stuff, right?
Religion is it's a weird new system, dude. It's like people will will go and infect. Well, I guess will go
Religion, it's like
and
kind of like a
spread
virus, you know?
their religion in your area and the neighboring areas, and like that influences how fast yours grows if you even want to go down that road. And like, say you don't choose to participate at all, which I didn't. I put no value into religion the last time I was playing at all.
Yeah,
I didn't
neither
build
did
any
I.
buildings. I didn't build any people. But like, I think someone was spreading Buddhism near me, and they ended up having like a control over like two of my cities. They had a certain influence. Like the city was mine, obviously, but certain things were happening because of this religious influence. And I
Right.
was like,
That
oh,
makes
that's
me think
fucked
of
up.
in Game of Thrones, like a few seasons ago, where that religion kind of made its
Yeah.
way into the capital city, and then like all of a sudden everyone's like fanatical about it. I was like, oh god,
Season
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Season 6. Yeah. That's
that's
one
what
of
that,
the
that's
best.
what that reminds me of.
One of the best scores was from season 6.
Oh, yeah.
That the Light of the Seven opening, which was
Mm-hmm.
to that
April,
episode
guys.
where she nukes the cathedral.
Yeah, that was the end of that, and that's how you get rid of them in Civilization. You got to just nuke the city from orbit, because you
Yeah,
know.
nuke it.
I haven't
Nuke it
done
with
that.
future tech.
In my current playthrough, I'm building the bomb. I just unlocked the Manhattan Project and finished that. So now we
Nice.
can make bombs, but I'm making my first bomb right now.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite way to play the game? What's your favorite way to like approach your victory? Like, or do you like the military dominance?
Well, because I don't understand the other ways to dominate yet. Like I'm defaulting to that. Like all I know is to take other cities by force. That's all I know.
So opposite of a diplomatic victory, right?
Yeah, right. I don't.
That's
really-
gotta be the hardest way to win. I've never done that either. Like I got a
Diplomatic
diplomatic
victory?
victory. Yeah,
No,
just-
because people they're just dicks out of nowhere. And you're
Yeah,
like,
they'll
"No,
just-
I
they'll
could
just be
fucking
assholes."
Fight you, dude.
This might be the. I think this is the first Civilization I played that had spies, or have they always been in the game?
I feel
5
like-
did. I'm pretty.
I remember them
5
from
had
5.
scouts that
So
could
I
probably
picked-
be upgraded. I don't remember, man. It's been way too long for me.
I
You're
picked.
making me want to reinstall it.
I picked Catherine de Medici of France.
Slippery slope.
I picked Catherine de Medici of France, and she gets a special spy bonus. Like she instantly has a spy the minute she reaches
Mm.
castle development technology. When you can develop castles, she gets one spy immediately. I got the free spy, and it's a huge benefit because you send the spy to other town, and one of the things the spies can do is siphon funds.
Mm.
So like I was siphoning money from the country or culture that I was fighting against, and that is a hugely effective tactic. You break their fucking bank and you win, because then they can't make fucking units.
Oh,
or-
good. That is
so-
very sneaky.
That's smart.
So building up a ring of spies and sending them into the country you're attacking is really fucked up.
You drain them
Right.
dry and then you sell them back your services.
No. I just dominate.
You
them.
just dominate them. Okay. Yeah.
Steamrolls through.
But yeah, so I've been playing that kind of addictively, and then I've been going back and forth between that and Assassin's Creed. I really do want to finish Assassin's Creed. You know, I'm like end game, but I can't get there because there's still a good majority of the map that I have yet to uncover.
So
You
are
just gotta like follow the story path, man.
yeah, you just got to mainline that story. Just like.
I will. I'm doing. I did fight Medusa.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
fought her. She was the more difficult fight, but not as difficult for me because of the level of like upgrade.
You're the
I've gotten
highest
to.
fucking level in the game.
There's a I imagine if I had played that at super low level, like it probably would have been a pain in the dick. Because she has this like she turns you to stone. So if you get in front of her gaze, you literally slow up and become almost stone. You know, like going in that direction. So it's pretty
That's
cool.
Medusa.
But yeah, I beat 2 of the Titans. I beat Medusa, and then I beat one of the Cyclopses. Actually, beat 2 of the Cyclopses. So there's one more Cyclops. There's a Minotaur, and there's one more I don't know what it is. There's something else.
Some monster.
Yeah, some other thing that I got to fight. So should be fun though.
Road to the end of the
Nice,
game.
dude. Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
so I'm gonna keep going with that. This week on the stream, now that I bought Resident Evil 2, I'm gonna be streaming Resident Evil 2 starting Saturday, and then Wednesday and Thursday this week, I'm going to be streaming Elder Scrolls Online.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Nice,
I'll
dude.
probably be streaming Resident Evil as well. I wanna get that on camera
Yeah,
for sure.
I will be as well. That's the vibe.
Mm-hmm. Well, awesome.
Cool.
Cool, dude.
All right.
We want to hit. Let's dive into some of these this week's adventures.
You want to do the Machinima story first, or
Yeah.
do it?
Let's get into this.
Lay it on.
So
us.
if you've been on the internet, I think anywhere, or the past 10 or so years, you're a part of YouTube, and you knew YouTube as it kind of found its feet and became what it is today. But something you probably saw a lot around was this Machinima channel and this like spinning M logo, just a video brand that made a lot of videos and had a lot of people that were a part of it. It was just this like content creation house and channel that was pushing out just
Do you guys
gaming-related
remember
videos.
Do you remember any specific things you watched on it? Because I can't.
No, I just remember seeing it everywhere. I was like, oh my god,
Well,
like what is this? It's everywhere.
Machinima,
Everyone is Machinima.
Machinima used to be a term for like using like Red vs. Blue was back in the day an example of Machinima. It was like using like game assets to make your own funny skits and videos. That was like this is like 10 like plus years ago.
Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft
Sure.
Auto 4. They did a lot of Machinima content.
Yeah, just the act of using
Right.
the characters in game as like actors for whatever you're doing. And like Red vs. Blue is like always the example I go to because it's the one that I used to watch all the time when that was like a thing back in the day. So that is, I guess it evolved over time, but I haven't really been following their content recently.
And I mean, they were at one point, at least about 7 or so years ago, Google bought the Machinima company for $35 million because they were at that point the largest single page view generator for YouTube.
Damn.
Wow.
I mean, that was how influential they were in that early YouTube space.
So it's pretty much
but
YouTube's channel, right? Because Google owns YouTube.
As of this week, every video on there, nearly everyone has been deleted or made private.
Damn.
Just gone.
So
everything on the Machinima channel is gone. I found one video when I was poking around there myself.
As we talked
and
about,
this is a big deal. Just in general, it's a big deal because they were a content creation and production house. So they made their own in-game content, but they also had like creators that worked with them, and you would be putting your video up for Machinima. They would host your video. They were the ones publishing your stuff. So there are tons of creators out there that have no history of their work because they were publishing for years and years and years through Machinima. And because of acquisitions that have come down the pipe through going all the way back for as far as AT&T buying Time Warner over the summer, people are being restructured and shipped around, and they've got plans for their own content generation platforms. And this is one of the things that's falling by the wayside. And it's really sad because it's kind of like a monument to what the internet used to be and what kind of came out of that. You know, like we live in this creator age, and it wouldn't be the way that it is without Machinima to some extent.
When you first told me about this story, or when I first came across it, it seemed as though I was like, oh, this seems like another case of YouTube like pulling the plug on a creator for whatever reason. But I was not aware of all like the behind the scenes like hand trading that goes on with the Machinima brand. So this is really interesting.
It's under an umbrella right now called Fullscreen.
Yep.
Fullscreen owns Machinima and is really, I think, getting rid of it slowly and replacing it with something else. Maybe they have coming down the pipeline. And Fullscreen is under Otter Media. That's
who
the one
owns
that goes
who?
under
The game.
the Time Warner brand. So like,
oh man,
they're differentiating all of their content streams, revenue streams, and maybe they'll have a gaming focus at some point. We don't really know. What Fullscreen has said, because creators have been reaching out to Machinima, to them, like, what are we doing? Like, do we still have jobs? Do we still work for you? And everyone is saying, yes, you do. You know, don't worry. Like, there's still the Machinima creators networks that are out there. Those pages still have their content. it's a lot of confusion. People are kind of scared as to what's happening because
Yeah. Well, what
they
happened to
got
all
no
that
warning of
content?
this.
Like, what if there were no backups? Like, what if that was the only existence
just-
of it?
Gone into the dust of the internet, man.
Oh, God, I hope they at least like pull these videos. Like, that's like crazy to me. Like, that's like history, kind of like just like poof,
It is.
there it goes.
Yeah,
It
well, it you know, the internet is pretty ephemeral.
You're saying that they probably exist in some form somewhere.
No, I mean they exist.
I think it depends on the creator.
Ephemeral meaning temporary.
Like, it's
Oh.
gone. It goes away.
Oh.
It's not permanent. Just an ever shifting, floating, existing being.
Wow.
I mean, machinima was so important in the early days of creation because it was hard to monetize. It was hard to make this legitimate
Mm-hmm.
and even be seen. And if you were on this aggregate channel, it was a way better way to get your content out there. And now that all these platforms have their own way to monetize, people are just themselves. Brands are themselves. We are ourselves. You know, we're not under anyone. We do what we do and put our content out. And that came out of this need for like independence and freedom out of these channels. So like machinima wasn't always a good thing. Like it was just a symptom of what needed to happen in content creation. But it is part of the history, and it's still crazy that someone hit a button and it's gone. It's
Jesus.
fucking gone. It's wild, dude. It's a wild turn of events.
They can't do that with Trump, can they?
No, because I think with his Twitter, no, I seriously though, I think with his Twitter, he's not allowed to delete tweets, right? Isn't that like
Right.
It's
he has deleted tweets.
Oh, he has?
Right,
really?
like, but like
they're
you're
like
not supposed to.
official,
It's
yeah,
supposed
they're
to
like
be, like, an
official
archive.
presidential.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't mean his tweets. I meant him.
Just him as a
Well,
person.
that's just going to be eternal on all
Look,
the news sites.
You know,
forever.
I'm not the biggest fan, but we're gonna just glaze right over that.
I
We're
didn't
not
mean to
gonna
take that
go down
political.
road.
I'm not really a political guy.
You know what you were doing. You know what you were doing.
God, that was the hardest derail. Right
I
there. I don't know if I can even
derailed.
It was like
recover
a.
from that. I know that whole. They
pulling
gotta
the brake
bring a
back.
new train next to the train because that shit is not going anywhere, man. That train is done.
Oh, man.
Get everyone on the new one.
All right, hey,
yeah.
Felix,
Yeah.
that Mortal Kombat 11 is coming out.
Yeah.
They had a crazy preview event last week.
did.
Tell me something
I did.
about the Mortal Kombat 11.
I did not watch it,
Damn it!
but I have an article.
One job. pull out the article. Let's see.
As is the nature of media framing theory and
Yeah.
Facebook, I pre-ordered it because that event occurred, and then Facebook decided to frame me with advertisements from Mortal Kombat 11.
You are like the easiest man. You just
Dude,
see it.
yeah,
You
you're
see
I
an
was about to
ad,
say,
and
you're
you're
so
like,
easy. To
"Yup,
get, dude.
boop, boop."
Yeah, I saw an ad for Resident Evil 2 remake
Uh-huh.
here on our podcast from your lips, and I bought it immediately.
You're right. Yeah.
You are the mark, Felix. You are just the mark, dude.
So,
They're
yeah,
like,
so
this
last
guy will
week-
buy everything.
I'm literally just
Last
gonna
week-
walk into the store and buy Resident Evil on Friday. That's my plan.
Last week I was, but you're not going to get that cool samurai sword. You're like, yeah, I will. Like a week into playing the game.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have it, or
Unlock it.
whatever. It doesn't even matter to me. I just want to play the game. Yeah.
So
Go on.
yeah, so at some point it popped up in the feed, and I pre-ordered it. This time around, I went with the giant, like whatever ultimate thing, which is
Mhm.
$100, because I know for a fact I'm just going to end up buying the characters individually, and that costs way much more money than if you just pre-order it. Because individually nickel and diming yourself with, each character is more money than I
Right.
think, because they dribble the characters to you like they did it for Injustice 2. They dribble them slowly over time.
But you unlock them in the game though, right?
Well, if you buy the no, these are characters that are never unlocked in the game.
Are they like the season pass characters, like the DLC characters?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and
okay,
that's what
yeah.
I bought. I bought the version of the game that essentially the price of the game with the season pass tacked on.
Very
So,
nice.
There's going to be some really, really cool characters. Now, a little history about myself with Mortal Kombat. I go way back on Mortal Kombat to the arcade.
Oh
Like,
hell yeah!
I've been excited. Like kids were over here and they were surrounding the Street Fighter fucking cabinet, right? And there you'd have like 3 layers deep of like people in a half circle watching 2 people go at it in Street Fighter. I was over at this cabinet that no one was standing next to at first, like playing this game, Mortal Kombat, as a 13-year-old or a 12-year-old or whatever the fuck age I was. And I saw this game go from being not very popular at the beginning of the summer to one of the most popular things anyone had ever played. And I had started playing it prior to other kids in that arcade. I mean, I used to go to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and there was a arcade called Ryan's Arcade. You might know what it is. It's on the beach.
Rehoboth is nice, dude.
I remember
Really
playing.
Nice.
I remember playing Mortal Kombat in that arcade as like a 12 or 13-year-old or whatever, and when no one else was like on it, as it being like a hot thing, and then it blew up, and then it was on consoles after that.
And then Congress met to talk about video game violence.
Well, yeah, that was
that happened eventually. Yeah.
Ripping spines out of people's bodies was a cause for concern. Corrupting the youth of America.
The reason the ESRB exists is because of Hillary Clinton pushing forth that we need game ratings because of Mortal Kombat.
Was it her though?
Totally, 100%.
Oh my! I gotta go watch. I know that video is still on C-SPAN. I gotta go check that out.
Yeah, you want to blame rating systems?
Honestly, I think that was the best thing to happen at the time, because if the government came in and like started going, okay, what are you guys making here?
The content.
Yeah, what are these things?
What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you kids doing?
I remember because of that, like Mortal Kombat led to like fucking green blood.
That was on the Nintendo.
And it was on
one of the platforms had that as like a censorship. Censorship method.
I remember that.
Yeah, so a parent could go in and flip it to green blood so that you weren't looking at red blood. But those games were pretty much fully intact. They were the games. I think I remember those types of with the very visual. What do you call that type of like photoreal like video?
Oh, I know you're talking about,
FMV.
dude.
FMV.
No. He's talking about
like Night Trap.
The fact that the characters look
like they were
realistic, but they're animated. They're they just have people that are like photographed in their poses, and they become. I'm gonna look this up while you're talking about it. I'll find it.
But I remember that was dulled down when you got to like the Super Nintendo version, but for the most part, the game was intact. Then we went on, and I played Mortal Kombat 2, which had so many more characters. And then I believe I played 3, and that's where I fell off. I didn't play 4, and I didn't play...
I had 3 Ultimate on the Super Nintendo. That was my first like real introduction to Mortal Kombat.
I never played that.
It had like 20 characters.
I think
it was a big roster.
So the one that brought me back to it completely revamped how the game played, and it was 3-dimensional. It was kind of like Virtual Fighter. It was called Deadly Alliance. It was on the original Xbox. It was Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. It is reviled by people in the Mortal Kombat community as being one of the worst Mortal Kombats ever made, and it was the one that brought me back to liking Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Right? Only because it had this really cool concept of switching to a sword fighting style.
Right.
While you were playing, you could do hand-to-hand combat, but every character had a weapon fighting style that you flipped to with a button. It was like the trigger would flip you to like their sword, and then they would literally pull a sword out.
And you'd have like a new set of moves that you could pull off.
Like Melina would pull out like her size or whatever, and you would just.
I do remember that.
All the moves were different because now you were doing their weapon fighting style, which was really cool. So I got back into. So I never really left NetherRealm. Over the years, I've like been in and out of playing NetherRealm games. Well, now they're owned by Warner and they're part of the DC family or whatever. In terms of a game studio. And I went and bought not Mortal Kombat 9, but Mortal Kombat, the last one.
So it'd be
Mortal
10.
Kombat X.
Yeah.
And I bought like the Ultimate Edition. And I got bored with it like super fast. Like the story wasn't really, I don't know. I wasn't into it at all.
You know what, dude? I loved the story of 10. And I just watched a friend play it.
I watched a friend play it too.
It's like a soap opera, like a fighting soap opera. The graphics were so good looking.
now that the new one's coming out, I might go back and play it just to just go through it.
Well,
because it comes out in April, and I have the game on the shelf. Why not put it in and just go through the whole story?
Yeah, mess with it a little bit. Yeah, but tell me about the new one though. What are you excited about in this game?
Neo's like, you motherfucker, just start talking about the real
He's giving me a history of the world part 1 over here.
No,
but I love the history talk. I do love history.
The reason I was leading up to this is because what I did buy when I was bored of Mortal Kombat, wasn't interested, was Injustice 2.
Sure.
Also made by NetherRealm. And the mechanic, or not the mechanic, but the gameplay style that they introduced with Injustice 2. It was not Injustice 1. It was not in Mortal Kombat, but in Injustice 2, they introduced an RPG-style gear drop type system. And the reason why I'm very excited about this Mortal Kombat is they are introducing it in Mortal Kombat. Now, what it gives you the ability to do is get gear drops, like different types of helmets and arm pieces and leg pieces and shit that you can then apply to customize the look of your character. And that I got obsessed with that. That is like my favorite feature that they've come out with in a fighting game in a long time. It gave me an excuse to play it more. I've put more hours in Injustice 2 than I've put in any fighting game in my entire life.
Yeah, man, you played the hell out of that.
I'm still playing it. Like, I play it off stream. I'm thinking about doing it. I said I was going to play Elder Scrolls Online on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm thinking I'm just going to do 2 days of Injustice 2. Why the fuck not?
Or play the Mortal Kombat story leading up to the new release.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll do Mortal Kombat. I'll do Injustice. I don't know if I want to wait. Mortal Kombat's not do the Mortal Kombat story in like late March or whatever. Just do it then.
Hell yeah.
But okay, so a couple things that are coming out. So you're going to have this new gear dropping RPG type style system, which is going to be great. So it's going to have that. In regard to the character roster, they're doing some really, really neat stuff. First of all, Raiden is some character called Dark Raiden. I don't know who that fucking is, but people who are huge fans of Mortal Kombat, who know the story really well, know who that is. Definitely Scorpion. Sub-Zero, some character named Scarlet I've never heard of, Kano, and Liu Kang.
Oh, she was definitely in a previous game.
I'm pretty sure I saw Scarlet in 10 when I was watching my friend. Again, not playing the game, but watching my friend play the game.
Reptile, I don't know if he was in any of the previous games. Reptile is definitely confirmed. Do you guys remember Reptile?
I do. I remember him in the movie, too.
Yep.
Reptile is definitely coming back. And the most important thing, they're bringing back Sonya Blade, who was not present in the previous game, who is going to be voiced by Ronda Rousey.
Whoa!
Wow. Hello.
Grabbing that name.
That's funny, dude.
That's kind of cool.
How fucking appropriate is that? I mean, I don't know if I can't remember if she's a good actress or anything.
I don't know, but I could look at her and go, yes, that is Sonya Blade. I definitely see that comparison. That's cool. I really think it's awesome that she's in it.
So there's going to be some pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a bunch of characters in addition that I don't know at all. So I'm not even going to bring them up, that are a part of some of the other later Mortal Kombat games that I didn't play.
May I chime in?
Go ahead.
So there is a new character that is being introduced in this game, and he is a time cheating character, apparently.
Oh.
His name is Gearus, and he's actually going to be a part of like the whole story arc. Now, the whole arc of this new game is going to be breaking time. So characters that have died in the past and haven't been in the series for a long time will be making a return because of certain issues with time and the way this game is going to work out. It's going to revive older characters.
Time, dude. Time's a dick.
Yeah, dude.
So there also was a lot of rumor when I was playing Injustice 2, because the characters, what they do is they release a set of characters that are part of the main game, and then they usually release 6 to 12 extra characters that are released over time as a part of the season pass. One character that was totally 100% rumored for Injustice 2 that did not come into Injustice 2 is now rumored again for this game, which is Spawn.
Oh, Spawn.
Spawn. Yeah, they thought Spawn was going to come to Injustice 2, but instead it was Hellboy.
I would not be. Oh, that's funny because I know they're making a new Spawn movie. I know there's one in development right now, and there
is it really?
Yeah, there is. Todd McFarlane's doing another one, and or it's Todd, right? Yeah. And Hellboy, the Hellboy movie's coming out. So if they bring him back, I wouldn't be surprised either because that would fit.
I
with the
would
movie.
not be surprised if Hellboy ends up in this game as well. I wouldn't be surprised because he was a pretty solid character to play with in Injustice 2. They also use, if they're incorporating what they incorporated in Injustice 2, they had this thing called the multiverse.
Yeah.
Where you play these things that change every day or after a certain amount of hours. They're basically towers or brackets or whatever you want to call them, where you fight a series of heroes.
Yep.
But there's added modifiers that change the gameplay. Like for instance, there's a modifier that puts you on the ceiling of the fight is on the ceiling, like it's upside down.
Oh wow.
There's a modifier that adds ice and fire and earthquakes and like weird fucking power pops that like show up and give you a boost of like your whatever. So there's all kinds of weird modifiers that drop in these multiverse events. If they end up doing these for Mortal Kombat, they're usually themed around something in the outside world that they're trying to cross market.
So I got some info on that here for you. There's going to be the story mode and then 2 modes that they told us about and one that they have yet to reveal. Now the 2 other modes are the Towers of Time and the Classic Towers. So I'm assuming Classic Towers is like the old arcade mode where you climb, like you're literally climbing a tower of names.
No time limit on it.
No time. Yeah, it's just straight up like arcade mode. And then Towers of Time, Felix, I have a feeling that's what you're talking about is going to be
like
their
the multiverse thing.
That's going to be like their multiverse where they'll have daily, weekly, and like challenges of that nature.
Like for instance, the multiverse event that I did in Injustice 2 around the time Justice League came out was you could play a Cyborg event, a Wonder Woman event, a Flash event, and like another character event, Superman or Batman. And it gave you the ability to get the actual gear from the movie.
Oh.
So so I ended up playing that. Me and Flower, actually, Sleeping Flower, played live on my stream, and her and I just flipped the controller back and forth and earned the full set of Wonder Woman gear around that time for my Wonder Woman character, which I thought was really cool.
Wait, did they have like Henry Cavill's Superman suit and Ben Affleck's Batman suit?
I'm pretty sure, but I didn't play all of them. There were they were all in the multiverse area when Justice League was had just been released into the theater, and the only ones that I ended up getting the gear for were Wonder Woman and Cyborg. But
gotcha.
It was Wonder Woman's gear from the movie, and it was Cyborg's gear from the movie. So
very nice. I remember when the first Injustice put Stephen Amell's character model in the game.
Yeah,
and replaced the Green Arrow in that one, and they had his voice and everything. That was awesome.
I mean, if you guys haven't played, and I'm not talking to you guys, I'm saying like if the Emergent Gamer community who's listening or whatever haven't played Injustice 2 and you enjoy fighting games, this is one of the best fighting games I've ever played. And they have top-notch voice acting work for their games. I mean, they have their Green Arrow inspired me to think in my head that I want their Green Arrow to play Green Arrow in the movie. You know who their Green Arrow is?
Who is it?
Alan Tudyk.
Oh shit!
Wow,
shit! Okay.
And he's outstanding as Green Arrow. And if he could just get himself into shape and fucking like put a mustache on, he'd kill it.
He'd kill it. I really liked playing through the first Injustice. NetherRealms has really stepped up the way they tell stories in a fighting game because before, like, I never would care. But I've watched, like, I did Injustice 1, and I watched my friend play 9 and 10 of Mortal Kombat, and they're, like, straight up awesome movies, and they inject gameplay at, like, really good, smart moments, and it feels good.
Yeah, so I pre-ordered that, and I'm excited about it, so.
Can't wait.
Looking forward.
It's looking very cool.
Just to tack on here at the end, that discussion we're having about the art style in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. What's that called?
It doesn't have a name. They were filmed actors, and then they were just digitized those photos and videos into sprites.
That's so crazy. I definitely knew it was something like that, right?
There was another game that in the arcade that came out around the time that like Mortal Kombat came out, this came out, and I don't know if they were from the same company or whatever, but they used the same technique, and they were almost like compared by like friends,
Are you thinking of Killer Instinct?
No, the Killer Instinct
That was
came
later,
after
right?
that.
Yeah.
The two games that were out in the arcade were Mortal Kombat and this game called Pit Fighter. Pit Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Pit Fighter.
Look it up.
I know nothing about Pit Fighter.
Pit Fighter failed, but everyone
Clearly, no one's heard of it. Oh, I see this.
Right. It lost in the fight, whatever.
It was put
In
out.
the pit fight.
It was put out by Atari. It looks like
Oh wow.
Arcade Fighter.
Yeah, so this looks very similar. I'm doing a quick Google search.
Published by Konami.
But I ended up playing both of those games religiously, Mortal Kombat and Pit Fight.
Oh,
Mortal Kombat looks like it has some kind of a monetary system here. There's like all these stacks of cash.
Dude, Mortal Kombat looked way better than this.
Oh yeah, I know. I just played both.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Pit Fighter.
Dope.
Very cool.
Well,
Cool, guys.
See what I'm saying? It uses that same style of like animation.
Yeah.
It must have been something going around the industry. Like, oh, instead of like, spending money on animation, let's just put people in costumes and take a picture and then give them to digitizers, and then boom, we're done.
Oh my god. Oh god, look at the fucking horrible costumes that people are wearing in it. Some jackass had to wear that shit.
Yeah.
Because
he only had to wear one, and then they just like palette swap the colors out.
Oh really?
Yeah,
So
like Sub-Zero and Scorpion originally were just like palette swap characters.
Yeah, see
There's
the
blue or yellow.
the windscreen brutality bonus. The dude is like standing on a fucking forklift. Classy.
You gotta do what you gotta do, dude.
Brutality bonus.
All right, ready to pack this up?
Well, I think that's it, dudes. That's the
I think
show for this week.
That's the show, guys.
It was a good one. Good talks. Good deeper dives. Well, there was less going on, so we were able to unpack things more, which I actually do enjoy. I don't really enjoy speed newsing because people could get news anywhere. I like unpacking this shit a little bit more. So that was fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty important. I have gotten feedback recently where people have said like you should explain some of the things you're talking about more in depth. So
yeah, I mean, I think we're all getting better at slowly doing that because
I do like touching on the news though. I think it's important to like talk about current events.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
I like being able to spend more time on it.
Hell
Get
yeah.
deeper
Always
into the talks. But yeah, we've been good at throwing in little like descriptions of things or like giving context instead of just saying, a name or an IP or something. No, we're doing the thing, dude. Doing the thing.
All right, well,
Good show, guys.
let's sign it off, guys.
I'll congratulate how well we did at this show.
Well, this is Felix Hergood and twitch.tv/Felix Hergood, mixer.com/Felix Hergood. I do a Mitch chat where I do both services live at the same time. So please come in, watch me on either. Like I said, and I just bought Resident Evil 2, the remake, tonight.
Oh yeah.
Live on the podcast. So I'll be playing that probably starting this coming Saturday. This episode will be out anywhere between now and Friday. So, so definitely, it's probably going to be out on Wednesday or Thursday because those are my 2 days off from job. So, but yeah, I'll be playing that, and then I play Elder Scrolls Online, and I play Fallout 76, and I play Assassin's Creed, a bunch of games. So.
Very cool.
Nice.
I'm Neo Ayoshi, and you can catch me at Twitter at Neo_Ayoshi, Twitch at twitch.tv/Neo Ayoshi, no underscore there. I do variety streaming, so you'll see a lot of Smash Brothers, and this weekend I will be playing Resident Evil. So please stay tuned for that. I can't wait to get scared again. Oh my god, you guys. And that's it for me.
It's gonna be real, dude. And this has been Trip Zero. You can find me on Mixer. I'm a Mixer streamer, Trip Zero TV. Stream every weekday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it's a good vibe. Usually we play Destiny 2, pretty much the main game, but we have branched out. We did Resident Evil 7 during Halloween, and we're going to be doing 2 for sure. So you can just watch all of us get scared playing 2. Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, it's mixer.com/Trip0TV. And then my socials are all Trip0TV. So I'm very easy to find out there in the internet land. And again, we've been brought to you by the OG Podcast Network. Thank you to them. Cool dudes over there. And yeah, we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
He goes, "What's on the whiteboard? You see that?"
It says it's still the whiteboard that was written by Oates, episode 129, Nintendo E3, IO Interactive, GTA, something about GTA 5, Stormblood, and then in a question, Felix buys a Switch ?
Yeah, it probably wasn't a story, but Kevin was like, "Let's get Felix to buy a Switch."
What are you, a seer? What are you, a seer, Kevin? Kevin Oates? I did buy
buys
one.
a Switch. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it was Treat Yourself 2017, baby.
Treat yourself to 2017.
Treat Yourself 2017.